You are now tuned in to Mind, Body, and Soul with Annette, where your hosts, Annette Harris, analyze intriguing life questions and concerns, such as, do Christians suffer from mental illness? Have you wondered why they act abnormal? Or you may ask, what is really going on in their minds? Do you need Annette? Well, keep listening for a biblical understanding of the psychology of the mind.
Great evening, guys. Welcome to another wonderful segment of Mind, Body, and Soul with Annette. I promised you guys 6 p.m. tonight we would end with more DAG nominees. And I'm excited to be here. This time of year, of course, is leading up to the award ceremony for Distinguished Author Guild. And I always tell Gina, I love to be able to interview and talk to the nominees. So it's such an exciting time, and the event itself is just beautiful and elegantly laid out. So I just want you guys to come on in and join me. I would encourage you to please, you can tag individuals directly into this live stream. So if they are able to watch it live now, or they can come back and watch it in its entirety. You know, some may drop in, they may drop back out, but they can still watch us. We are live on Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram at Get Caught in the Net. You shouldn't be able to miss us. And I do encourage you again to share this live stream. Throw up the hearts, the care button, the thumbs up, if you will not mind doing that for me. When you do that, you're pushing this actually out, and then you're reminding individuals in case they've forgotten to tune in on this evening. I'm going to bring in my guests on this evening. We had a wonderful segment this afternoon with 3 of the nominees, and I see some of my friends are coming in on this evening. So we're going to bring them to the stage. Make sure those who are ready can come on in. Oh my goodness! And I'm waiting on Dr. Oh, there she is. Okay, all right. There's my girl. All right. They are all here. They are ready to talk to each and every one of you on tonight. So we're going to go. This is probably, I don't know. I started a couple of weeks ago doing these sessions, 12 noon and 6 p.m. I think this last segment, I think I have the most here out of all of the segments that we did on this past few weeks. So let's start from the top. Natalie, Miss Romance. How about I do like that? Romance.
You do it, because I cannot roll on my R's for anything in the world. And I took Spanish.
I don't know where that just came from. It just popped out. How are you doing on this evening? Personality. Hey, maybe you can write about her.
I know, right?
Oh, there you go.
How are you doing?
I am wonderful. Thank you for having me tonight. You know, I love being here with my sisters.
Yes. I tell you, it's a blessing to have you here, and I'm excited. You, this year, have been nominated. Is it One Song?
Yes.
Is that okay? All right. Yes. I want to make sure. All right, One Song. All right, we're gonna see what that's all about. Let's push on over to. Oh my goodness! Look at all these titles. Y'all see these titles my queen sisters have on this evening. I just love it. Ambassador Author Fairren McLemore. Did you hear that roll again? I did.
You did. Don't feel bad, Natalie. I can't roll my eyes either.
How are you doing?
I'm blessed. I'm so happy to be here as always. You know, it's a pleasure to see you again. And just like Natalie said, to be here with my sisters is always a pleasure and a blessing And thank you for having me.
Thank you. Thank you for coming and giving of your time on this evening. I appreciate you. And I'm going to move on over down to the doctor. The doctor's in the house, y'all. Doctor's in the house. Dr. Carolyn Stephens, how are you this evening?
Oh, I'm doing wonderful. And hello to everybody and to all of my literary sisters. How are you? Thank you so much, Annette, for having us. And I'm just excited about being here. Talk about our books.
All right.
Yes.
We read. Like I told her earlier today, we read. All right. Author Shana Jenkins.
Hey, everybody. Just like everybody said, happy to be here. Thanks for having us, Annette. Happy to see everybody, and I'm excited.
Good. All right. And last but certainly not least, award-winning author, Ambassador Patricia Wallace. I had to get all of that in there. How are you doing this evening?
I am doing well. Thank you so much. And again, like everyone else said, I'm so happy to be here and I'm ready to get in here with my sisters.
All right. You're doing it. Okay, let's see. Okay, Shana's book that she's been nominated for is Butterflies Are Meant to Fly. Is that correct?
Yes,
All
ma'am.
right.
Butterflies are meant to fly, not to be kept in a jar.
Ooh, I like that.
Thank you.
And then Fairren, you have The Voice of a Mother's Pain.
Yes.
Beautiful. Ooh, these are some titles, you guys. I love it. Dr. Stephens, Sacred Seeds of Wisdom. Now that grabbed my attention. Talk about that wisdom. I love it. All right. And then, of course, Patricia, Christopher's Timeouts.
Yes.
And if you guys see, of course, behind her, she has her the title of her book. And I'm loving these backgrounds you guys have on this evening. But let's jump right in. I'm going to ask something that is I haven't asked any of the other nominees on the other sessions that we have, but I want you guys to think about this for a minute. Which of the other nominees' books do you feel that you have a connection with, whether they're on this segment or on any of the other segments, or somebody else that maybe wasn't in the media campaign? Do you think that you have a connection with any of the other nominees?
I'll start. I have a connection with Patricia's book, Christopher's Time Out, because I used to work in early childhood education, and I had a Christopher.
Oh my goodness.
Time out wasn't even enough for Christopher, but I love that kid. So yeah, I totally relate to that.
Okay. There's a connection. Anybody else?
I would say, even though I have not read it yet, Fairren's book, The Voice of a Mother's Pain, just the title alone, I'm like, I can relate. I've shared little pieces of my story here and there, and I'm like, I'm sure there's something in there for me.
Wow. Okay. Yeah, I can only imagine. All right, Dr. Stephens, Patricia, or Fairren, anybody else can relate?
For me, first of all, the other authors of children's books, because right there, being in the same genre, like the one, I cannot remember her name, forgive me, the one nominee who the book about the ABCs, I thought that was captivating, the way she described it, and just, the nuances of what it takes in particular to write in your specific genre. And hearing about those, and the same with Paula's book, and even with Fairren, yours, just with the children and that focus and the way you have to do it. And so, and then also, Yet Will I Trust Him by Cassandra Hester. That one is just such a testament, for me, just, I can relate to that as far as how she speaks of her mother and how she provided the wisdom, the godly wisdom to her children throughout her life. That, really resonated with me as well. So there's so many gems. Everybody's books are just phenomenal. It's so many to, choose from. And of course, we have our romance queen, just pick one. The love of, the romantic era and everything. So it's just beautiful across the board.
Okay. All right. Anyone else?
I think I'll piggyback off of the children's books as well, just because of the the words of the books that, you know, the passion to teach that self-love for me. So all of them are surrounded by, you know, you got Patricia's book, who reminds me of my son. I think, like Natalie said, there's just not enough timeouts. I think it's just a boy thing. Honestly, I think it's just a boy thing. And then Shana's book, you know, I just love how she is just so transparent. And I think that's just kind of where I am in my life. It's just being transparent and just vulnerable with everything that I have going on. So I have to agree with Patricia. I think it's just a connection between all of the books that I think each of them pull something different that we each can learn from. So,
okay, love it. Did you want to wrap us up, Dr. Stephens? Can you connect with?
I mean, I can connect with so many of the authors. One connection is that there are a couple of the authors that my company has personally published their book, Fairren's and Latanya's and a couple of the others. So there's definitely a connection there. I have Shana's book in my house that I have read. You know, Butterflies Are Meant to Fly. And so I've got a connection with that. Natalie started a group, and at first I was kind of reluctant because I said, well, I'm not married. I don't know if I should go in the group, but I put myself in the group anyway, because I said I can go in Natalie's group for romance because that's what I'm hoping to get to. I love her group and her books. And so, you know, I have a connection with so many of the authors because there's pieces of me that I can see in all of their writing. So yes, there's several authors and several books that I'm, you know, kind of connected to.
Okay. I like that. Let me hop over here real quick and see who we have that has joined us. I appreciate you guys on Instagram. I see you over there. And here on Facebook, Bruce Logan said, let's go, Fairren. All right, we got a Fairren fan here. Thank you. We appreciate you for coming in. Elder Kevin McGee, thank you. He says, greetings to each and every one of us. Kennery Kent Smith, Natalie. Hey, everybody. All right.
Hey, big brother.
That's your brother.
That's
hey, big
my
brother. Thanks for coming in. We appreciate you. Rachel is here and says hello. Hey there, ladies.
Hey, Rachel.
Hey, Rachel.
Hey, Rachel.
All right, beautiful. Natalie Murphy, Queen of Romance. That's right. That's right.
And Rachel is the radio queen of radio.
That's right. Michelin Moss says, hey, I hope I pronounced that right. Says, hey, ladies. And then Nichelle Jackson, good evening, pastor and ladies. Okay, who's the pastor on here? Dr. Stephens? Who? Okay. Well, what?
That's my armor bearer. Thank you. We call her Nikki. Thank you, Nikki, for showing up as always.
Okay, all right. We learned some more about some people that we didn't know here. Okay. All right, Fairren McLemore, ambassador and queen of the possibility. Come on, she look. You know, I think Rachel went down here and listed the queen of everybody. Queen of the core, Shana Jenkins. All right. Queen of media, Carolyn Stephens.
You go, right. Rachel.
You go. Author Black Diamond, thank you for joining us. We had her on last week. It's a girl book as well as my granddaughter is a piece of work. Okay. All right. And Bruce says here, words that heal, voices that matter. Experience the depth of a mother's heart, a woman's pain, and human resilience in every page. Is this your is this your hype person, Fairren? I love it.
You never would have known.
And got I already got the website down there and everything, so you guys can't miss where to purchase the book. All right, I love it, and I see you guys that are constantly coming in. And Bobby Struchin, thank you, we appreciate you.
Hey, Bobby.
Jared Wallace is also here.
All right,
and also Anita. Shout out to my sister Patricia.
Yes.
Okay, all right. Come through. Is that my girl Angela West? Lady Angela, thank you for coming in. Penny Verser says, hello, guys. I truly appreciate each and every one of you coming in. If you haven't done so already, I do encourage you still to share this live stream. You can tag people directly into it, and we would very much appreciate it. So let's just hop back in. I started off with that question for a reason, but I also want to kind of backtrack a little bit. And can you tell me just some personal background about you that you want your viewers to know, whether it is in relation to your book or not? Just a little bit of background. I see Rachel is appointing everyone queens and ambassadors, and I appreciate that. But give me just a little bit of background about you that maybe someone doesn't know. Maybe it's a fun fact. Let's start with you, Patricia.
Well, everybody knows this about me who knows me, that I've always had a love for books, a love for reading. And one of the things that surprised me was that no one else was surprised. Those who know me, no one else was surprised when I said I finally wrote a book. They were like, and I'm thinking, because I'm in shock with the journey that I had to go through to gain the confidence and the resilience and the wherewithal to just go do it. But when I announced it, they were like, well, it's about time. What have you been waiting for? Like everyone else expected it around me. So for me, that was just a testament to other times people see things within you that you have yet to realize about yourself. And so that was one of the things that, kind of resonated and stuck with me as I went through my author journey for my first book.
Okay. Beautiful. Love it. I'm gonna jump over here and I'm gonna ask Dr. Stephens. Come on, talk. I had no idea that you were a pastor.
Yes, I am. A lot of people don't know that I'm in ministry, but yes, I am. Have been for quite some time, and it just all worked together. Actually, with what I do, people is what I do and love, and I love building people, and so now I have platforms where I can continue to do that. Of course, I'm an author. That's why I'm here today. I have a publishing company. I also have a television on demand company where I can put people all over the world right from the comfort of their home. And as far as a fun fact, something about me that is a fun fact. I tell people that I like classical music. I don't know why that's so surprising to people. I don't know if it's because I'm a Black woman or not, but anyway, I do. That is my form of relaxation, is that I like classical music. And so when I feel stressed, I put on classical music, and that usually does it for me. So that's something about me. And I'm also an artist. I draw and I paint. So those are some things that people don't typically know about me.
Well, I think the fun fact here is that you do everything.
Well, listen, let's don't say that. One of my coaches is on here tonight, Coach Rachel L. Gary. And so if you say I do everything, she's going to probably say, no, you only do one thing. So that's part of our assignment. But yes, I do one thing, but there are many components that make up that one thing. So, okay. But I appreciate you, Annette, for identifying that I am a multifaceted person, which is a representation of God, because God is multifaceted. He's all things to everybody. I'm not, but he is. But, the fact that we can do different things is just how we represent and how we demonstrate God in our lives. So, yeah.
Love it. Yeah, I see how you slid that hat on real quick, that pastor hat. That's good.
That's the hat. I love that. I love that.
Beautiful. Yeah, I had to get to you because like I said, there were some things I didn't know. And then some of my audience members, my viewers may not know as well, a little bit about you. So come on, Natalie. We know you all things romance. Give us some little bit of background, maybe a fun fact.
So a little bit of background is I felt like I was destined to write romance, whether I knew it or not.
Mm,
One, my dad was an avid reader. So
okay.
that started me. He used to take my sister and I to the library. I had to be like 3 or 4 years old, and I would always get my own books. He got my own library card for me before I started kindergarten. So that started my love for books. Then there's my mom, who is also a romance junkie. And her favorite movie was West Side Story. The main actress is Natalie Wood. That's how I got my name. So moving forward now, the thing that is starting to come out that people are starting to find out about me is that I've been asked to be a contributing writer to a new digital magazine called Melanin and Marriage. And I will be giving tips and ideas and suggestions every month on how to make room for romance.
Love it.
I'm excited about that.
Okay. Well, we're excited with you.
Thank you.
I love it. I love it. All right. Who did I get to? I think Fairren and Shana. Shana, did you get answer yet?
I did not.
Please do.
So just sitting up here thinking, I love questions that kind of make me dig into the box. I would say something that maybe those who don't really know me up close, but maybe you all can tell from where I started last year as a new author to where I am today. The title "Butterflies Are Meant to Fly, Not to Be Kept in a Jar" just really speaks to who I am now, who I'm blossoming into. When I started out to when I published my first book last year or 2 years ago, The Prettiest Woman, I talked about a little bit of the hardships that I had been through, but just finding God and like finding the light and the positivity in those situations. But I realized as I continue to grow and like as I continue to really just discover who I am, that every time I end up in a situation that seems stifling, I'm like, I know I'm not supposed to be here. Like I know I'm supposed to be higher. And so that's kind of how I got the title for the book. You know, God didn't create me to be kept in a jar. God did not create me to be in a box, to be behind a desk, to be in a relationship that I cannot do X, Y. You know, he didn't create me to be in small spaces. He's continuously calling me higher. And I just give him credit for really allowing me to embrace that side of me. And so when I say that I'm not to be kept in a jar, it's just like, look out, you know, if there's an opportunity coming and God says so, like I'm going for it. I'm going to go as high as I can. And I'm just going to keep flying.
Please do. Dr. Stephens, when I had her on, I think it was last year, I just called her my spokesperson. I said, I just feel that you're just going to be all over. And she shared with me some things that she's doing now. I'm sorry, what'd you say?
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
That's okay. That's okay. But she's definitely that she has that persona, you know, and then I can just see how God, you know, is working through her. But were you going to say something though, Natalie?
Yeah, so I wanted to say about Shana. When I first met Shana was that butterfly in a jar. She came to my workshop and she and her daughter, they were quiet. She had some questions, but she was in the background. But I see her now, she is totally out of that jar. And I love it. I see Shana be talking, Shana be posting, Shana be doing her thing. And I'm like,
like, I'm not going to say anything, but I got to say something. I'm going to say something. Yeah. Thank you.
Beautiful, beautiful. I love it. I love to see God working through, you know, different individuals. So come on, Fairren.
So again, I like questions like Shana said that you have to think about. So for me, a fun fact that I know y'all probably will not even guess this, but I'm really a shy person when it comes to certain things. And a lot of people don't believe that. And for this whole experience, it has really caused me to come to the front because of my vulnerability and transparency. You know, I used to be so nervous getting on before every podcast. I would be so nervous to the point where, you know, I'm like, okay. But once I started talking about it, because because as most people know, I've said on previous podcasts, like I never imagined myself being here as an author. If you know, your as a little girl, your parents, what you want to be when you grow up. It wasn't author for me. So I had no idea I was going to be here. But as I mentioned before, just how God was preparing me, when I had my daughter, I had began to write, not knowing that he was going to prepare me for this moment. So this moment has literally caused me to come out in the front. And now I'm not so, not so shy, and I think it's mostly too because of, the community, the sisterhood we built, just how we build each other up. But I'm a little bit shy when it comes to stuff like this, but at the same time, I'm also passionate about talking about this. So I think that is the difference there. But for the most part, I love it here. So
I love it. That's cool. I love that. Thank you. Thank you for sharing that with us. But no, I don't think we would have known. I wouldn't have known.
No, not at all.
No.
You're handling it well.
Trust me, lots of pep talk.
Hey, whatever
I
it
think-
takes, right?
I'm sorry. I think that's the beauty of what happens when you step out in faith. Like you were saying, the nervousness and everything, I can totally relate to that. And I think you just do that one step. You take that first step, and then you gain the confidence to realize that God is not going to leave you. He put this gift in you. He's going to take you through. He's going to help you fly through, walk through, whichever way he's going to take you. But we just have to do that first step. And then we gain what we need in order to focus on and experience the next step and accomplish what we need to accomplish throughout this journey. So I can resonate very well with what you're saying.
That's good. That's good
Yeah.
stuff. I like that. Does somebody want to piggyback off of that, or y'all?
I do. I think we got another motivational speaker in Patricia.
Yes, absolutely.
I agree.
There you go. Push it. And when we're all, straighten each other's crowns, we can do that, right? I love it.
Yes.
Absolutely love it.
Yes.
Dr. Stephens, I want to, this is not even on my questions, but I just thought about something as Fairren was talking, when you talk about books, in this day and time that we live in. I mean, you are, you do media, things are virtual. How can we still get across that books are still important? The writing of them, the reading of them, because we can easily hop online, find something out or whatever, or we're always directing people, to the internet, right? How can we still make sure that we insist that books are still important?
I think that a part of how we can do that as the author is that as many times as you as an author can find opportunities to read an excerpt of your book. That's very profound. So with the co-authors of Sacred Seeds of Wisdom, actually Fairren and Shana were part of that project. One of the things that I did for each of those ladies was I gave them an excerpt, because I was editing. I gave them an excerpt of the book, and I read a part of it to them. Now, I know that may have seemed a little strange, but I wanted them to hear what they had written. And there were tears, and they said, "Oh my God, I didn't know that I did all that." So to answer your question, I think it would be most important that authors take an opportunity to read excerpts of their book, to make the book come alive, to people. That there's an energy and there's a feeling that you cannot get from a book unless you sit down and connect with the book. So it's our responsibility and my responsibility as a media platform to make books come alive. By all means, you can get a Kindle and you can read a book in that way. But we have to really start making the book become alive, so that it becomes alive in the mind of people, where they say, you know what, hey, I got to sit down and I got to read this book. I got to read about these characters that Natalie has in her book and really connect with them in that way. So I think that falls on the author to make the book come alive.
I love it. That was a great response. And you even mentioned about the audiobooks and the Kindles. I remember when my book came out, some people were like, do you have it on audio or whatever? I'm like, no, not yet, at that time. But I know that's what, people are looking for. The public could be looking for the audio and the Kindle versions or whatever. But I love how you said it kind of goes back on the author to make sure that this is, or how it's presented to make them, want to pick up a book. Anyone else want to answer that question? I wanted to grab Dr. Stephens with that, because like I said, she is, media person, she has this great company of pushing, out media, and I wanted to get her thoughts on it, but anyone else can answer that. How can we make it books, make them relevant, make sure they're relevant, that they don't fall off?
I think also, maybe just even encouraging people to tell their story. I mean, you could sit down and say not everybody is an author, but everybody has a story to tell. And I think that the more we encourage people to step outside of their comfort zone and just, share their testimony, share their stories with the world, that'll keep books relevant, because then at that point you have somebody who's continuously, keeping them alive. So just really encouraging people to tell your story. Maybe you don't want to read somebody else's story, but maybe you got something that you want to say, put it out there.
Good answer. Anyone else?
Go old school.
Okay.
Start the babies out with books. Read to the babies. Because that's what did it for me. That started my love for reading. My dad sat down and read to us.
Okay. And just as simple as that, right? That's good.
Yeah.
All right.
I think if I could just add that to what Natalie said, we were taught, kids do what they know. If you don't have anybody putting a book in their hand, if all you show them is a tablet or a phone or something digital, like that's all they're going to know. But when you show them something old school or however you want to word it, it's like it creates a different excitement in them. So I think that's a really good point, Natalie.
Thank you.
Yeah, you know what? That's so true too, because like Natalie, I grew up around books, and from the library perspective, my mother was a librarian for, the bulk of our childhood. And so going to work with her was just like the best thing ever for me. And I loved it, and again, the books all around that exposure, that's key. You have to teach, a certain way in order for that to be relevant to them. And even if they grow up and don't decide that, okay, I don't love books like you do, at least you can say that you've exposed them to it. So it's the constant taking opportunities to show and guide and say, here, here's a book, read about it, because there's something written about every single topic, and we all may not like the same topics, but there's something out there for everyone. But, just the encouragement and just, hang in there and find something that's just for you. Yeah,
that's good. Yeah. That's good. Natalie, you reminded me of Teresa Smith Hickman, Mother Dove, with her children's books as well. That just kind of reminded me of, and just starting out with them. That's a great point, because it is really important how we teach our children, and what we teach them. So, yeah, I think, it needs to start off just like, and I'm just throwing this out here. I was looking on social media, was it today or yesterday, whatever, how they have those different posts where they tell you that hate is taught, and they show them to children. They show the different races of children playing together. They're loving on each other, whatever. And at the bottom, it says hate is taught. And we know what that means, because, you can teach them, to love. You can teach them to hate, unfortunately, and you can teach them to read books. So that's good right there. That's good. I love it. Let's see. Penny says, well, it's about time you wrote that children's book, sis. And talking to Patricia.
Yes. She looks just like her.
Oh, okay. Is that your sister?
Yes.
I think I met your sister. I believe I did. If she was at the award show, I think I met
She was at the award show. Both of my sisters were there.
Yes, I remember. I remember now. Okay. Wonderful, wonderful. Eliza is here and says, hello, authors. We appreciate you. Let's see. Jacqueline Johnson says, great show. Thanks for coming in.
That's my mom.
Oh, that's your mom. Hi, Mom. Thanks for coming in. We appreciate you. And Arthur Black Diamond says, Dr. Stephens can definitely give you a good word or two.
That's for sure.
They know you. They know you. All right. Let's see here. I'm trying to make sure I'm not skipping over any of the comments before we move forward. What does this say? Natalie, sis, you were absolutely destined to creativity. Miss Photographer, author, etc. Thanks also for inspiring me to get that first book out of my spirit and into the world. See?
Awesome. So that's what Henry is, and I have been friends since high school, and I've adopted him as my big brother. And he's made up this word called a worderer. So he makes up words, and that's why you were stumbling over that word. But I know Henry, so that just tickles me when he does that, because everybody doesn't get his sense of humor and his wording.
Right. It's crazy. I may have stumbled over the words, but I knew what he was saying.
But that was not a misspelling. He knew exactly what he was putting out there.
Okay. All right. Got it. Kayla, I thank you again. I don't know if I mentioned you earlier, but thanks for coming in. We appreciate you. And Rachel says Shana Jenkins be bringing the word to design. Come on now.
Yes, put me out there, Rachel. Look, hype me up. Hype me up.
Right. That's your hype girl. All right.
Yes, I love it.
Bruce says this live just upgraded my mood to VIP. Smash the like button to join the club. Come on, Bruce. Who is Bruce? Who is Bruce to y'all? Is this somebody's sibling, brother, or?
That's Fairren's hype man.
Yeah, he's Rachel's mentee and a virtual assistant for us.
Okay, all right. Let me hop over. I want to ask a question because
Bruce works with Coach Rachel, and he is many things. He is a brother to me. We are in the same coaching group, but he's a phenomenal. I get that. None like him, phenomenal graphic designer and all kinds of other things. And so he supports Rachel and supports us. And so, yes, he is officially a brother. So that's Bruce.
Beautiful. Well, we thank you, Bruce, for your support and all that you do. So thank you for coming in on tonight. I want to ask a question about do-it-yourself publishing and the opposite of it. I don't know what that would be called.
Traditional publishing.
Yeah, thank you. That's the best word for it. So, if you have someone who is, maybe they're watching you on social media, maybe they're watching the show, they're writing a book or they're trying to get it out, what would you encourage in terms of the do-it-yourself publishing or the traditional publishing? Anyone have any input or insight? Go ahead.
I do. Before I let the professional publishers speak on it, and I'm saying this because I just recently helped a friend do it. From my personal experience, I would say do it yourself first, because you will spend so much time trying to find the right publisher and make sure you're not going through the vanity publish. And it's so many like hoops and things that you have to go through, like to find the right publisher and the right editor. I would say in order to prevent you from just sitting on your book, try to do it yourself, and then attend Natalie's class, because she gives you the step-by-step anyway of how to do it and make it easy. But that's just, I encourage people, like the people that I talk to, my peers, to, try to do it themselves first, because you'll run yourself crazy trying to figure out what's the right company, what's the right way to do it. And you'll never put it out. It'll be 5 years later, you still talk about the book that you got in your head because you got, stressed out. It's a lot of work to go through an actual publishing company. And on your first one, I would say you're going to get caught up if you don't just try to publish it yourself and get help along the way.
Okay. All right. Anyone else want to add to that?
So
I would say, oh, go ahead.
Go ahead, Pat.
I would say the same thing as Shana as far as do it yourself, because for me, I come from the perspective of I don't want anyone owning any type of control over how I want to present my work to the world. You know, I do that enough in my corporate life. I'm an editor in corporate, you know, where I have to, you know, that someone else is in control. But for my words, from deep inside of me, I want to have the only say as far as how that's presented. And so, but I also encourage people to do your research, know for yourself if that's the way you want to go. If you feel like that's not, you know, the way you want to, then there is another option out there. There are several other options out there. Do your research, decide what resonates best with you. But for me, if they ask, you know, what would you recommend? I totally recommend doing it yourself, because it's nothing like that that next level of the satisfaction, you know, of completion, that you put that effort into your baby. You know, that's how, you know, I would respond.
Okay. Yeah.
So I'm a proud teacher. I have nothing else to say because my two pupils have just spoken very well. They totally nailed everything that I feel that I put out there, because being a creative, all of us are creatives. We don't want people telling us what to do, changing our words, taking 2, 3, 4, 5 years to put out our work. So I am definitely all for self-publishing. And the key word that Patricia said was research. Yeah. I don't care if you do traditional or self-publishing, do your research so that you know, because there are a lot of scammers out there, and they're looking for people who don't know. They know what to say to make it sound good, and then they're gone with your cash, with your story. The other thing, never let anybody copyright your work.
Absolutely.
Do it yourself. Because if Patricia gives me her work to copyright, I can put my name on it, and now I'm entitled to her royalties.
Right.
So copyright equals ownership. Do your own copyright.
Definitely. This is good advice. I hope you guys are listening if you're interested in your becoming an author. Dr. Stephens, you want to jump in on that?
I do. First, I want to say I agree with all the comments that are made. I do not brand myself as a publisher. I brand myself as a publishing consultant, which is a far different thing. So I work with authors who want to self-publish. So this gives me an opportunity to educate while the person is creating their piece of work. So, and the reason why I brand myself as a publishing consultant, one, is because I believe that people, even in media, my agreements even say that. And I believe that people, especially people of the African diaspora, right? They should own 100% of the rights of their own intellectual property. So I'm a big component on that. So when I work with a person, the main thing I'm doing is helping them build a brand, because here is where a lot of authors miss it. And I'm not going to get on my soapbox, because many of you all have heard me say this. If you just putting out a book and selling a book, that's all you're going to get. Okay. So I help authors build brands. That's the bulk of what I do. I do have other services that go along with it if they need that. But I help authors and I advocate that authors have a brand. If you build a brand, the book just happens to be a part of a brand. Not that you're just selling a book, but you're pushing a brand. Like, for example, I was glad when I saw Natalie create her book. I mean, her group, right? Because she has a brand. She is promoting the brand and her 1,000 books that she have. And I know she'll speak it. The book. It's just a part of the brand. So for everybody out there that you are an author and you need help with branding, you can come see me. You're still going to be self-published, and I'm going to help you with self. So I work with authors that are self-published because I believe in people owning the rights to their stuff, because I don't own people's stuff. But you do need help with branding. There's not an author that I meet that doesn't need help with branding, because they just have this lovely book, but they don't know how to market it, they don't know how to promote it, and they don't know how to build a brand. Build a brand, and anything you have, you're going to be able to sell it. Whether it's a pencil, a cup, your product just happens to be a book. So I agree with what everybody said. And again, I help people build brands. That's what I love doing. That's what I do. Even with the media, we help people build brands. So yes, I concur with what everybody has said.
Okay. All right. I get it. Hopefully that'll clarify some things for people, because you may have people who have started a book, and they don't know exactly what to do after that, how to continue, how to get it out there. So this is good stuff. Even though, this segment, of course, we want to push it back and talk about your books. I think it's important to pay it forward and help, someone else. They may not know what to do. So we are, that's why I asked those questions. Now, let me see. I have Butterflies Are Meant to Fly, Shana. Did you have any doubt in writing this book? How long did it take you? And what were you trying to accomplish?
No, so it's a journal. And so I documented my step into entrepreneurship. So, last year I was employed with the company for 2 years, and I felt like I was being stifled. I was doing the work of the manager. The manager who was above me, she left, so that left the position open. They had me fill in that position for her. But when it came time to apply for the job, actually where they had to pay me, they told me I wasn't ready. And I was, I feel like that was just God pushing me into the season that I'm in now. And so, and when I was speaking to the district manager about the position, he referred to me as a butterfly, not necessarily that you're meant to fly, but more so he was trying to get me to fly higher. And I said, you don't even know how high I'm going to fly, because I'm about to leave up out of here, But, it was coming from where I came from the previous year, writing the book, The Prettiest Woman. I talked about how when I first tried to launch into entrepreneurship, like it was in my own timing, and it started off good, and, I was making money, but then all of a sudden my car got repossessed, and, things started going wrong. And so I was a little nervous about this launch in October of last year. But I felt like God was really telling me like it was time. So this time it wasn't my own doing, it was his doing. And I'll be next year, 1 year self-employed, next month, self-employed. And God has literally carried me and it was just a matter of, like Patricia said earlier, stepping out on faith, just really pushing myself to walk on water and just really trusting God in this season. And I'm not telling anybody, it's been hard. It has not been easy. But once you get so far out there, it's like, I can't go back. I know I'm supposed to be here. I know I heard you correctly, God. So I'm really relying on you. And so in the journal, just like in my book, The Prettiest Woman, I use the word of God. There are so many scriptures in there where God is telling us to walk by faith, not by sight. Walk on water, pour the oil, take your oil to your neighbors. And, the people that bought the widow's oil, they had much to pay her bills and leave some for her kids. There's so many scriptures in the book that tells you that you are not supposed to be in one area and to just step out on faith and let God, follow God. And I just really relied on that. So it's a couple of like 10 questions or whatever. And I just ask people questions, what's keeping you inside of your jar? And here's the scriptures, because if you feel like you're being stifled, if you feel like you're supposed to be doing something bigger, but you don't know how to start with the word of God. Ask God where it is, and you'll be right where you're supposed to be.
Love it.
Amen.
Y'all still see why I call her my inspirational speaker. That Shana, she'll get you going, boy. Thank you for that answer. That was wonderful. Natalie, your books sometimes continue from one to the next, and you have a sequel or something like that. Is
Yes.
one song one a book, or is it a continuation, or is it tagging off of any of your previous books?
So one song is part of my first series, my Then Came You series, but it can be read as a standalone. All my series books can be read as standalone. So you can pick them up in any order. Well, if you're going to read the series, of course, you want to start from the beginning, but you can read them individually. So one song is actually a continuation of Then Came You. And Then Came You, Zanaya and Brian, who were childhood friends, grew up together, and life takes them in different directions, but they meet again as adults. And so they start a relationship in that book.
Okay.
The readers of Then Came You wanted to know more about where Brian and Zanaya's relationship went.
Mm-hmm.
So that's how I came to write one song. And one song takes place in Chicago. It's where I'm born and raised.
Yeah.
And they connect at the point that they love to step. Now, if you're from Chicago, you know about stepping. So they love to step, and they're the hot couple on the stepping scene. But as all relationships do, they hit a roadblock.
Mm-hmm.
His jealous cousin who connects with his crazy ex, and they set out to break up the relationship. And Brian and Zanaya still have to maneuver and because they're in a competition, they're in a dance stepping competition.
Okay.
So they have to dance one last song.
Okay. Yeah, you set that up pretty nice. I like that. That's pretty good. That's pretty good.
But you get your happily ever after. I'll tell you that because that's just me. You know, I'm a happily ever after kind of girl.
Right, right. Well, honey, you need to be writing for some of these. Well, let me stop. Because some of these shows kind of leave you hanging a little bit. You like, wait a minute.
Yeah, I can't do that. Yeah, I don't like it.
Oh my goodness. Okay, so let me go here. Christopher's Timeouts. I know, if I recall correctly, is based off of your son.
Yes, my older son.
Okay, all right. And so can you kind of refresh us a little bit about Christopher's Timeouts and your purpose for writing this book?
Yes, ma'am. So the book is entitled Christopher's Timeouts, and it's about a second grader named Christopher Coleman, who is absolutely determined to be the class clown. He likes to tell jokes. He doesn't want to sit still in class. He doesn't want to listen to the teacher when she's teaching, because Christopher is more interested in entertaining his classmates, which with what he feels are harmless behaviors, but they are disruptive. Like he's falling out of his chair. He's talking when the teacher's talking. So basically, Christopher is not using the good sense that he was born with. So the book is all about Christopher's journey from having the mindset that misbehaving is okay because the rules don't apply to him, to understanding that playful antics can be fun until someone gets hurt. So what I do from there is create a couple of dream sequences where he's engaging with his imaginary dinosaur friends. So there's Tommy the T-Rex, there's Terry the pterodactyl, there's Tiana Triceratops. And while they're roughhousing in the forest, in Christopher's dream, Tommy gets hurt because he takes it too far. He falls down, he hits his head, he ends up with a concussion and has to go to the dino hospital. Wow. And so this experience is a wake-up call for Christopher because he didn't like seeing his dinosaur friend get hurt. And so that's when it clicked for him. Even, that everything that his parents were trying to tell him, that his teachers were trying to tell him, that his principal was trying to tell him about using good sense in the classroom. And so one of the takeaways for me from the story was that it's a teaching moment for children, but using good sense that's a life lesson. So it applies in every area of our lives. And so that's in a nutshell what it's about, and how I set it up. And it is based on my son's antics in the classroom, but I was also a substitute teacher. So he inspired it. but he wasn't alone. And that kids that age, that was very common. And so they gave me just a lot of material that I just couldn't pass up on because it was right. So, and that's what I, came up with, to share with readers, from that age group 4 to 8, and just telling a story in a relatable way, teaching the lesson in a way that they can receive it, in a way that will hopefully, just be deep within them, like, okay, like, look, okay, I'm done with this, so yeah,
Right.
that's what it's about. And, that's how I came up with it.
Okay. All right. And refresh me. How did your son feel about being the
That's funny because that was one of my first questions for him when I knew that, okay, I'm going with this. I asked him, I said, I'm going to put you on blast, but how do you feel about it? And he laughed about it. He was totally okay with it. He had a hand in it. He was one of my first beta readers. He was the first beta reader. He had a hand in, because he's visual, he's a filmmaker. So he also had very strong input in how he wanted Christopher to look and the colors of the book. Okay. He had an input in that, so the room is blue, the background is blue because his room was blue when he was growing up. So yes, he felt, he's definitely on board with it. Dr. Carolyn, he helped me with my book trailer and with the video. He's working on that right now as well. So he's all in. He's all in the project and everything. Christopher Timeout's related. And I do read an excerpt in the beginning of the video, like you said. So that resonated with me. The teachings that when you were saying think big, that was one of the things that I wanted to do as well. So it comes full circle. So he's totally on board, totally, as are the rest of my family as well.
That's beautiful. I love that. Fairren is another one that her initial book, the one I knew about, based it off of her daughter. But now you come around talking about the voice of a mother's pain. Is this a connection to the first book in a sense?
It is. So Shining Through My Journey with Incontinence of Pigment T introduces the rare genetic condition and introduces my daughter. So the voice of a mother's pain is the connection of me along with 4 other mothers sharing their stories of raising children with disabilities or special needs. So shout out to Dr. Stephens, who helped bring that vision to life. And also shout out to the 4 incredible mothers who walked this journey with me, because I realized how traumatizing sometimes it is to go revisit those moments. And and it was tough for some of them to pull through, but I'm so glad that they chose to push through and write through that pain. So this book is going to serve both a source of support and inspiration for parents everywhere. So I know a lot of people hear the voice of a mother's pain, but it's certainly for fathers too. I also talk about my husband in there and his journey, because I also know that it wasn't easy for him as well. Just like as I was going through, he was going through too. So I do talk about that, and I just go deeper, from the time she was in the NICU, born in May, leaving in July. So each mother, they share their unique journey from the moment of diagnosis, navigating the medical, emotional, physical, and the societal hurdles that follow. So I'm excited that they decided, to join me on this, and me sharing my story and being, vulnerable and transparent. My hope was to give permission for other mothers to share their stories. I know sometimes raising children with disabilities, sometimes, it can feel isolating. A lot of times we don't feel like people understand. I tell people all the time that we can relate, everybody that has children, we can relate to that aspect of it. But, having a child with a disability is a little different, depending on, all of, from the doctor's appointments. Sometimes that's all the time, and our life truly evolves around them. But you all know that my daughter is my complete inspiration in this entire journey. So I smile every time I talk about her, and And many of you have met her, and she's still that inspiration and that motivation behind this entire journey. So I'm super grateful for her. I'm super grateful for the mothers that decided to take this journey with me. So it's definitely a great read. It inspired me, just hearing about the other, the struggles, and it's such an inspiration too. There's a lot of inspiration in this book too, for a lot of parents, just letting them know that they're not alone in this journey. And hopefully it'll just give them, again, that permission to share their stories as well.
Beautiful. And how important that is. We don't realize it at first, but that's very important. And there's so many families and parents who are going through similar or, situations that they definitely can benefit from this. Definitely. So my hat is off to you, and thanks for being transparent, in about your journey and sharing it to the world. We appreciate that. I'm going to wrap up with Dr. Stephens, Sacred Seeds of Wisdom. Is this, you said this was a compilation? Is that correct?
Yes, and I have the book right here.
All right now.
Sacred Seeds of Wisdom. Things that every Black and brown woman need to know. Special shout out to all of the compiling authors. As I mentioned earlier, Shana is in the book. The Fairren is in the book. If I start missing the names, I'll mess up. But Micheline, who is on, she's in the book. My armor bearer, Nikki. You see her as Michelle. We call her Nikki. She's on. Christina Fisher, Safana. Tony Winston is in the book, and Latanya Woodson. So we have several women. The reason why I wanted to do this book is I began to think about my own life and where I am in my life over 50, and I felt like when you get to a certain point in life, you want to now want to share with people. You want to sow seeds into other people's lives.
Yeah.
And to be able to help other women by sharing your experience, sharing where you've been, to be able to help them in terms of where they need to go. And so I started the project out, and I said, I knew some ladies, and I said, hey, I've got an idea to do this project where I want you to share some insight about where you've been in life. No discredit for people who do compilation book projects. I did not charge them to be on the project or anything, because I wasn't trying to make money off of the book. I just wanted an opportunity to connect with other women of color where we could say, hey, sis, this is where I've been in life, and I got something for you, and I want to share this. I want to sow this seed of wisdom into your life. And I have to tell you, those women wrote so phenomenally. I mean, they wrote from the depth of their soul. And that's why when I read back to them just an excerpt of what they wrote, I remember us doing a live, and Fairren's mother came. And, we were just in tears because Fairren's like, did I write all that? But they were phenomenal. They were free. I wanted everybody to be really free and just talk about what you want to leave with women, because going back in that to something that we just previously discussed about a book. Here's the deal about a book that is so far different from any kind of virtual media that one can say. When I leave this world in transition, I have books, but I can leave that with my kids. I can leave with my grandbabies. They can touch it. They can feel it. They can say, my grandma did that, And so that's why having a book, I think every leader should have a book. I think every person with a voice should have a book, because even if you just do one, that's something that you can leave with your family that can live out. I mean, what we know about our diaspora, how do we know about what our people did? through books.
Mm.
If we didn't have books, we would not have known. Somebody wrote about it. And so that's why I'm real big. I'm very passionate about books. But yes, Sacred Seeds of Wisdom. I love all you ladies, those of you that are watching. We formed a sisterhood through it. We still connect. We have our own little private group that we call a sacred space, where we can come in there and need to cry. We need to vent. We need to share problems or what have you. But Bobby is on that book. Some other people I thought about. But yeah, that was Sacred Seeds of Wisdom. And that's what we're doing in this book. This is a book that, hey, you're going to read somebody's story and say, thank you for sharing that. I needed that. So that's what the book is about.
I love it. I love it. We are paying it forward. We are helping others more than we realize, because somebody's watching, somebody's listening, and they may or may not say it to you, but you are helping them. So thank you. Thank you for that. I want each of you to think of one word or maybe one phrase to encourage someone on this evening before we leave. And while I'm going to give you time to think on that. I'm going to read some of these comments that we have here before we end, but just maybe one word or just one phrase to encourage the people that are watching and listening on this evening. Let's see here. Bruce Logan says, thank you so much, Carolyn Stephens and Fairren McLemore. It means a lot. Kent, I like that name, Kennery. Says, great show, Annette. I am enjoying hearing the sister authors' stories. Yes, I am too. And thank you for coming in, Minister Gloria. We appreciate you. Cassandra said, each one teach one. Love it. Love it. And Anita says, there's nothing like turning the page of a book and stepping into a story. Now, wait a minute now. That sounds like the beginning of a story.
That's my sister.
Oh my God.
Come on with it. And Penny says, faith is the key word. Yes. Okay, I'm going to scroll down, make sure. I think Bruce says something else. Writers don't just tell stories. They carry the weight of invisible worlds. I didn't read this before, did I? And give them a heartbeat. Thank you to all the authors present tonight to make a lot of hearts beat in ink and paper. Right?
I like that.
I like that. See some authors down in these comments, huh? Angela West says, what is Dr. Carolyn Stephens' website information? Okay, we'll make sure to get that to you. I don't know if you're able to type that in while we're on here tonight, Dr. Stephens, or come back. They want to know where they can find you. And I want to make sure everybody that is on here tonight, if you wouldn't mind, each of you throwing in where they can find you, where they can find your book as well. Faith, the evidence of things not seen. Come on, Cassandra. Got folks in here preaching and teaching tonight. Love it. Penny says, love your books, Natalie.
Thank you.
Great stuff, says Kennery.
Thanks, Kennery.
Anita says she gonna be looking for the book. Let me look at the book.
I got you, Anita.
Look at this. Penny said, Christopher, something else. My goodness. And Anita says, I remember those antics. Okay. Aunties are telling off on tonight. Yes. Oh, but wait. And he said, no, not my nephew. He wouldn't do those things. Oh, goodness. This is cute. I love you guys for coming in and joining this one tonight. Oh, Bruce, thank you so much. He listed the authors of Sacred Seeds of Wisdom.
Thank you, Bruce.
Deborah.
Thank you, Bruce.
You guys see the name. There's a lot of names. I love it. Thanks for being there for Dr. Stephens and putting this information in here for us on this evening. And he also listed where you can get your copy of Sacred Seeds of Wisdom. There's a link there. And so Natalie and Fairren and Shana and Patricia are going to put their links in as well so that you can get their books. You need to follow them. These are some awesome women of God. Rashana is here and she's speaking to everyone. So thank you so much for coming in. We appreciate you.
Shana.
Hey, Rashana.
Dwayne Field says powerful stuff, ladies, and awesome and amazing. Thank you so much for coming in on tonight, Dwayne. Let's come on, Natalie. Do you have your one word or your one phrase to encourage?
Yes, do it scared.
I love it. I love it. Just as simple as that.
Just as simple as that.
Come on now. Fairren, what's yours?
I'm going to say your light is needed.
Your light is needed?
Needed.
I love it.
Come on, y'all. Come on. I'm going to end with Dr. Stephens. So come on, Shana, and then Patricia.
I would say step out on faith, in faith.
All right. Got some preachers and teachers. Patricia.
I have two. I was going to say do it afraid, but Natalie said that already. But also, if you're compelled to write it, there's someone out there who's going to be compelled to read it.
Yeah. Love it. This is some wisdom. Come on, Sacred Seeds of Wisdom author and organizer, pastor, preacher, teacher, Dr. Carolyn Stephens. You know how we do in church. You know, we give all the titles.
Oh my God. So many things I think I would say. Let's see. I think I want to leave with everybody. Live life intentionally by living on purpose. Yep, that's what I want to say. Live on purpose. Yep.
I love it. I love it. This has been tremendous. I'm telling you. I have enjoyed each of you. I did tell you I was only going to keep y'all hours, so y'all forgive me. Church to my head, not my heart. But it was just so amazing to me. I just enjoyed listening to each and every one of you, and I just couldn't stop asking questions. So thank you for your time on this evening. Now, I do want to encourage each of you that are watching, those of you that will come back and look at the broadcast, to make sure that you support these young ladies, get their books. Go back for the past couple of weeks to all the authors that we have had on here, the nominees. We want to again extend a congratulations to each of them. And I want to encourage you to go to Eventbrite. There's a link in the comments section right now. If you have not gotten your ticket, over the past couple of weeks, since I've been interviewing these individuals, you have time, but you got to do it tonight. No, you still have time. Please go to the Eventbrite link. The Distinguished Authors Guild Award ceremony will convene on November 7th at Theater 47 in Park Forest, Illinois. And many of us know where that is. If you're here in the Midwest, in the suburbs of Chicago, south suburbs of Chicago, you can please get your ticket. It's a beautiful theater. The event itself is going to be beautiful because it has been the past few years that I've been, and I don't doubt that it will be the same way on this year. So again, November 7th at Theater 47 in Park Forest, Illinois. Please get your tickets. They will have amazing entertainment. It's good networking and connecting. And then, of course, the award ceremony itself. So I want to encourage you all to make sure that you support. And my understanding, again, is that the proceeds will go towards scholarships. Is that correct?
Correct.
Yes.
Yes.
All right. I love it. Amen. We want to support and we want to help do what we can to push and encourage education. So this has been great. I thank each of you again for taking time out on this evening. I know it's not always easy, to coordinate our schedules, but God has blessed us to be able to do it. And I love having you guys on. Some of you get nominated every year, and I absolutely love it. I do. Just keep up the good work. Keep doing what you're doing. Your encouragement. You're paying it forward. You're helping others out, and I thank God for each of you. I do. So thank you for taking time out with me on this evening and sharing your journey and talking about your projects. And I bid you Godspeed.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you, Annette.
All right, of course. I am going to play the outro for next Wednesday. We will have our health and wellness segment with Dr. Shirley Hill. That is every fourth Wednesday. We normally have Dr. Hill of Mo Faith Nutritional Services. And I'm even more excited because on next month, I am going to have throughout the month of October. I think we have 3 or 4 segments that mental health discussion, be well mental health discussions. And Dr. Stevens, I appreciate her because she is arranging this, and we're going to have it here on Mind, Body, and Soul with Annette. We have a few individuals that are in the area of mental health psychology, and it's going to be phenomenal. I can't wait. I'm going to be like a kid in a candy store. I love all things mental health. I love all things psychology. So I want you guys to make sure you stay tuned. The promo should be out for that very soon. But on next week, again, we will be with Dr. Shirley Hill. And until next time, I want you guys to make sure you get ready to get caught in a net. On the next session of Get Caught in a Net.
Get caught in a net with